Buying an electric bike online can be a daunting experience. It's expensive. You may have never heard of the company that you're buying from, and there's kind of no one there to help you once it arrives in a gigantic box, as you see here. But the experience I had with Volton and their Alation 500 was a really good one. So this is exactly what it looked like after taking it out. All you really have to do is put on the front wheel, which had some protectors on it so it wouldn't punch through the box. You put on the seat, you put on the handlebars and the pedals, and you're ready to go. What you see here is the charger and the pedals, which I've broken out there so you can see them a little bit closer. The whole thing took me about 20 minutes to get built, and then I charged the battery and pumped up the tires, and there's the charger. And it included a really good instruction sheet, which you can see here, and has been a really great experience. So let's get the bike out and see how it rides. This is the Volton Alation 500. And it's the 500 because it's got a 500 watt brushless geared rear hub motor combined with a 48 volt 11 amp hour Samsung powered lithium battery pack built into the frame. This bike is very satisfying to ride. I've had the opportunity to test ride a few other 48 volt bikes, but none that actually had the integrated battery here, and I'm a big fan of this kind of design. A lot of bikes have a rear battery rack right here, and when you combine that with the rear hub motor, it just creates a bike that's rear heavy, whereas this is sort of balanced. The weight is evenly distributed across the frame. And you'll notice it's got 26-inch wheels with fenders, which is pretty cool. And it's hard to get fenders right, and these are just kind of plastic, but they do the job really well. They aren't oversized, and they're kind of set up for more like a mountain biking kind of an experience. And this whole bike is pretty burly, and it does pretty well off-road. You can see it's got pretty big knobs on the tire there, and the shock, which is just a Suntour XCR, has lockout and rebound adjustment here. So it's a pretty good shock, and you see there's got the disc brakes on here. These are Tektros, and they're just mechanical. But that's fine. This bike really does a great job of striking a balance between high power, high quality, but not costing too much. Now, in terms of misses here, or trade-offs, the rear light is just, it's not integrated at all. It's just like a removable standard bike light, and you just press the little button and then it starts flashing. Down here we've got a decent chain guide, but it's only on one side. I haven't had trouble with the chain falling off, but that's something I complain about a lot with electric bikes. And this is just plastic here, but it does look pretty nice. It's pretty durable, and the gearing here is set up so you see this is a pretty large ring, and then back here we've got 7 speeds to go with, and then the largest ring is sort of extra large to make it easier to climb hills, and again, kind of that mountain biking experience. So as I mentioned, 7-speed. This is Shimano derailleur back here, and I like that they put Welgo pedals on this bike. I'm a big fan of those, and they're just a little bit burlier, a little bit heavier duty than if it was some sort of plastic thing. They're going to hold up better. Quick release on the front and on the front wheel and on the seat. And then it's actually got sort of the on-off switch on this bike is keyed. So, that's off, that's on, and you kind of have to leave the key in there. Again, a couple bikes do this, and I'm okay with that. The battery itself is lockable, so there's another key, and you go like that, and then this shield comes off. And it doesn't lay perfectly flat. I mean, this shield is it's kind of like slides up like that and locks on. And I've had a little bit of rattling with it, so I actually put just a clear piece of tape here, and it kind of holds it on. And frankly, since you can charge the battery on the bike, and it's locked on, I just, like tape it on, and it's fine. This shifter right up here, this Shimano shifter, also really reminds me of the Pedigo Classic Cruiser bike, and again, I like the computer unit they've chosen here. The seat's kind of decent. The frame itself is aluminum, And the overall weight of this thing is just 56 pounds, which for a 48 volt battery with a 500 watt rear hub motor is pretty good. That is pretty light. And you could lighten it up even more if you like swap the pedals out or put a different fork on it or different wheels. These are actually double-walled aluminum heavy-duty rims right here. Again, designed kind of with that mountain biking theme we were talking about earlier. So I'm really impressed. This is one of the first Volton bikes I've had the opportunity to spend time with, and I just think they chose really well. They struck a good balance between price and also quality on the components they chose, and it is just tons of fun to ride. I mean, this thing will totally carry you up hills. It'll take you on paths if you want it. You know, mountain biking with this is going to shake it around a little bit, and that can be hard on some of the electronics, but you know, it's pretty solid feeling. And I love what they did with the wires here. So, you know, they aren't fully integrated, but they've got this nice metal groove here that it actually covers all the wires. And down here you can see the pedal assist setup. So, you know, that's a pretty good solution. It looks really clean, but again, they didn't have to go overboard and possibly even risk sacrificing some of the integrity of the frame. They built them in, they put a metal cover on it. I mean, great job. That works for me, that's fine. The Alation 500 comes in black or silver, which you see here, and I like the silver because it's a little bit more reflective and maybe cars will see a little bit better, but the black looks super good as well. I like the kickstand that they chose. It's got a little screw on the back, and so you can adjust the height really easily. And actually this bike comes with a really nice little tool set that helps you assemble it. It took me about 20 minutes to put this together. I just basically, the handlebars were off like this, and you kind of swing the neck around, put the front wheel on, and you're good. And the charger that it came with is pretty cool. It looks nice, and it seems to charge pretty effectively in a couple hours. Also, the way that this bike's set up, it's got both throttle mode or pedal assist, which is just great. Again, I mentioned this control unit earlier, but when you turn it on, it goes into pedal assist mode 1. So if you start pedaling, it senses the movement and it starts to help you a little bit, and that goes all the way up to 5. 5 is top speed, so that'll help you hit the 20 mile per hour mark, which is when the motor kind of cuts off. And it's got some computer settings that are read off of the little computer tracker down here, like a standard bicycle. If you want to go in the throttle mode, just dial this down to 0 and twist this, and then the bike just starts going. So let's give it a ride like that. Okay, there we go. I'm going into 1. Okay, you can hear it whirring a little bit. 2. There we go. 3. 4. I mean, this thing just hauls. It's fast. I mean, it's very fast. I'm gonna go to complete stop again and pedal, and I mean, the whole bike like lurches forwards, which is just a great feeling. It's an aggressive ride for sure. You just see this thing hauling. Whoa. Okay, I found a nice little off-road section near where I live, and a little bit of an incline uphill there. So I'm gonna take this bike and see how it handles out there. Here we go. Bike is literally carrying me up the hill. No problem. Oh, yeah. I just came all the way up that, holding the camera in one hand, trying not to fall off the bike. It's a good feeling. It's a good feeling. was no pedaling, all throttle, took me straight up the moon. For more pictures, details, full written review, check out ElectricBikeReview.com. Thanks.